Hello eye-tracking community, my name is Michael and in this tutorial we will talk about markings. On the screen we can see Blickshift Analytics after the import of eye-tracking data. We have here an experiment with 9 participants and with 2 stimuli. In this experiment we ask the participants to get some information from a bar chart. To get now an overview about the data, I want to use a scan path visualization. So I go with the mouse to the data source, visual elements, so this is the name of the imported data. I make a right click, I say visualizations and then scan path. To arrange this window a bit now, I use the control key and I zoom out a bit. Now I can clearly see the scan path of participant P1. With the concept of markings, I can now select or define different time sections in the experiment. These different time sections I can use then for a detailed case statistics analysis, for example, or for a specific search for different eye movement patterns during these different sections in the recording. I show you quickly how this works. The definition of markings is easy in Blickshift Analytics. At first, I need a time axis along with my data. So I go here to the stimulus and scan path visualization. I make a right click and I add another visualization, the line graph visualization. I arrange the window a bit, so I make the line graph visualization a bit smaller. And here I can go now through the experiment. This red line shows me the current moment in time. And on the left side, I can see how the fixations are moving over the stimulus. If you want to learn more about this concept, how to add windows, how to arrange windows in Blickshift Analytics, please have a look at this tutorial. So now let's go into the data. What happened here? We asked the participants, please give us the value of the bar with the label 7. So let's look how this participant performed this task. At first, he or she started the eye movements from more or less the center of the screen and then went down to the x-axis. So searching for the label. Then this participant moved the attention to the bar peak. This is clear because you want to find the peak of this bar, so indicating the value. And then this participant altered the eye movements between this bar peak and the y-axis where the value is shown. So what we can say here now is that we have 3 different sections during the experiment. Finding or searching for the label, focusing on the bar peak, and then getting the information from the y-axis. And these are the 3 markings which I want to set for a detailed analysis. To define the first marking, I go now to the beginning of the experiment. I click with the mouse there, here in the line graph, and I hold the mouse button down. I move the mouse cursor along the experiment. So we have fixation number 3, somewhere here. This red section here is called current marking. This concept of a current marking is similar to something like marking some text, for example, or selecting some cells in a spreadsheet application. So don't think too complicated here. It's a really simple concept. So I created now here the first marking. If I click somewhere else, because I want to have a second marking, something like this, then of course, like in a text editor, my marking disappears. So we have to create here some kind of a bookmark. Let's select this section again. So I click with the mouse, I hold my mouse button down, and I have my first section here. To create now a bookmark for later analysis, I perform a right click on this current marking. I go to current marking and say duplicate marking. Here in the Workflow Explorer, this new marking appears now. And I can rename this marking to give it a clear name for the later analysis. I make a right click. I choose rename. And then I say, for example, searching for label on the x-axis. I click somewhere else here in the line graph And now you can find this blue section here, this blue marking now in your data. So next, we create the next marking. So searching or focusing the bar peak. So somewhere here. I make a right click, I say current marking, I say duplicate marking, I rename it, and I say focus on bar peak. And then finally we have the last section, getting the value from the y-axis, or finding corresponding value on y-axis. So with this tool, I can now divide my whole recording into different sections defined by markings. I can do that now for the other participants as well. I can combine them, and then I can use these all markings, for example, a case statistics analysis. How you can work with more participants, I will show you in another tutorial. In this tutorial, I will conclude with a case statistics on the different sections. And this is easy in Blickshift Analytics. I go here to the first marking, I make a right click, I say analyses, and then I say case statistics. I deactivate here output as timestamp. And here we have now many different eye tracking metrics for this time section, for this marking, searching for label on the x-axis. I can do that for the focus on bar peak as well. Case statistics. And here again for the third marking, say case statistics. And from here I can export this data for later analysis, here via the output and export to files menu. In this tutorial, I describe in detail how this export is working. So let's summarize. On the screen, we can see the eye movements of this one participant, how this participant solved the given task. Please read the value of the bar with the label number 7. This is what we can see in the scan path visualization. Here with the different markings, we define different sections of this recording. At first, searching for the label on the x-axis, then focus on bar peak, and then finally finding corresponding value on the y-axis. We calculated case statistics on every marking, and finally you can export these results to raw files for later statistical analysis. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like this video, please press the like button, subscribe to our channel and activate the bell so that you'll never miss a new video on this channel. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video.